Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 38th Annual Anderson Area Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year Banquet. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules today to attend this evening's event. I'm Ken Schroeder, President of the Anderson Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and I extend my greetings to you on behalf of the Chamber. Tonight we come together to recognize individuals and businesses that serve, often without fanfare, to make our communities better. We commend all who will be honored tonight and thank them for their tireless contributions to our community. This year's event is presented by Mount Washington Care Center. Will representatives of Mount Washington Care Center please stand and be recognized? Thank you for your continuing support of this popular event. The Chamber appreciates your involvement. We're delighted to have Fox Sports announcer Tom Brenneman with us this evening as our MC. Thanks, Tom, for helping us with these special recipients this evening. We look forward to hearing from you later in the program. But first, as entertainment for this evening, we want to present to you the Anderson High School A Capitalist Chamber Choir under the direction of Sandra Thornton. Great job, and thank you for sharing your time and talents with us tonight. Before we start our meal, let me present Mark Rowland, Senior Pastor of Anderson Hills United Methodist Church. Pastor Rowland will give the invocation.
Let's bow our heads for prayer. God, we come with grateful hearts tonight that we get to live in this marvelous community. We're so grateful for the beauty of its rolling hills and its streams and its rivers and for schools and for churches and for businesses like Kroger's that makes a difference in this community in so many ways that we don't even see. God, most of all, though, we're grateful for His people. For people like Susan and Sam who give so much, who are always looking for new ways to teach our children, and for students like Anna and Erica who are always striving to give their very best. God, we are grateful for those with a volunteer spirit, people who give so much of their time and their energy to the Wish Tree program. And so as we honor these people tonight, remind us once more what a gift they are to our community, and that it's all a gift from you. And God, we are grateful for Marty Brenneman. God, you created all things, and certainly baseball is one of those things. And what would Reds baseball be without Marty? So bless this evening, this food, and remind us that all this is an incredible gift from you. And remind us that tonight this one belongs to Anderson. Hear this, we pray. Amen.
This is a great evening for the Anderson Area Chamber of Commerce and for the many volunteers and businesses that work to make our community better. Thanks to all of you who have come to honor family, friends, and members and coworkers at this annual event. At this time, I'm very proud to present our MC for this evening, Tom Brenneman. Tom Brenneman is in his 7th season as a member of the Reds radio and TV broadcast teams. The Cincinnati native works alongside his father, Hall of Famer Marty Brenneman, for radio broadcasts on 700 WLW, and also sits in the booth for the Reds TV broadcasts on Fox Sports Ohio. Along with his Reds duties, Tom broadcasts games on the Fox Saturday Game of the Week, one of the sport's most versatile on-air talents. Tom is also a part of the NFL football broadcast team for Fox, a graduate of Anderson High School and Ohio University. Tom, his wife Polly, and their family live in Cincinnati. It is my privilege to introduce to you Tom Brenneman.
Ken, thank you very much. It's really nice to be here tonight, and Anderson High School brings back a lot of memories. Anderson Township brings back a lot of memories. It's such an unbelievable place, and no matter where you go, no matter where you live, and had the opportunity to move away from Cincinnati for almost 20 years, and no matter where you go along the way, if you like where you grew up, and you thought it was a special place and it was a great place, you always aren't afraid to tell everybody about how much you liked it and how much you enjoyed it, and always having the feeling that maybe one day, you want to go back to that town. But we're all so lucky in this room to be a part of Anderson and the entire community. One of my favorite stories that I've ever heard, some of you may know who Jim Harbaugh is. He's a head football coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And he coached against his brother, John Harbaugh, in the Super Bowl this year. And some of you may have heard this story during the Super Bowl. I happened to hear this story from Jim himself many, many years ago. He grew up in a football family. His dad was a football coach. And as he was working his way through his career, they were bouncing from town to town and really weren't making much money. And they had all these boys in the family, and no matter where they went, and it wound up being the longest period of time in Ann Arbor, Michigan, when his dad became eventually a coach at the University of Michigan for many, many years before he got a head coaching job eventually. The dad did at Western Kentucky, but the boys were all grown up by then. But he told a story about how they would ride in the family car, and they'd go on these vacations, and they'd go visit all these places, and these friends of theirs that lived in this place or lived in that place or whatever it might be, and kids being kids, oh, Dad, wouldn't it be great to live there? And he used to tell a story all the time how his mom and dad, they were always so upbeat and positive and how much they loved the community where they lived in. And no matter what went on in their lives, the mom or the dad, whether it was in the car, whether it was having dinner, whether it was in the morning getting ready for school, they'd always ask their kids, who's got it better than us? And they programmed the kids to always say, nobody. And it would, every time, no matter what was going on, if it seemed like everybody was a little bit down, mom or dad, who's got it better than us? Well, if you look around at some of the young people in this room, and one day you'll be an old guy like me, or a really old guy like my dad, and you're going to look back on your time growing up in Anderson, whether you went to Turpin or McNick or Anderson, whatever the case may be, you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, I remember, in my case, say Dr. Wesp, Richard Wesp, who's won the Citizen of the Year Award, God rest his soul. Or you'll look back and you'll remember Mr. Thrush. Everybody remember Mr. Thrush? Right? Monster of a guy, big, huge voice. You were afraid he'd break your neck if you stepped out of line. There was a time, believe it or not, you used to get swats at Anderson Middle School and High School. That's the truth. Paddle, principal, to your derriere. But you look back on it now, and the people that you were around, your classmates, your teachers, the administrators, the principal, the people who worked in the community, and you always just said to yourself, it can't get better than this. So for all of you who are living in Anderson, for those of you who have grown up in Anderson, for those of you that will live in Anderson for a long, long time, I would ask a simple question because I say it every day since I heard the story. Who's got it better than us? That's exactly right. Well, tonight is a very, very special night. And before we get to some of the other folks that are going to speak tonight, Ken, I know you're going to come back up. Where's Ken? Did he disappear? Ken, come on back up. And it's time to have a great night tonight. We're going to honor some very, very special people. Let's have a good time.
Thanks, Tom. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Dallas Jackson, Superintendent of Forest Hills School District and fellow Chamber Board member, to help present the Educator of the Year Awards. Without further delay, let's learn about tonight's special recipients. Tom, would you please do the honors?
Thank you. Can I have that back? Please, thank you. Our first award of the night is the Educators of the Year Award, sponsored by Wellington Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. This year, we're honoring two area educators. First of all, from Anderson High School, home of the Redskins, Susan Giesting. She embodies dedication, empathy, and determination. Those who know her say it's hard to put into words how much she loves her students. Every day, she tries to give her students, to quote her, the best day ever. She'll go out of her way to meet the needs of her students. She's a big advocate for all of them, not only at school, but for their parents as well. She'll go to their homes to support the families when needed. Susan also encourages peer partners in her classroom, giving college-bound students an opportunity to help others. Susan has dedicated her personal time to helping her families, bringing students and staff together. She supported many, many, many fundraising efforts at school and all over the community. A special education teacher. There's a place in heaven for every one of you. For the last 14 years, Susan has been dedicated to students from the day she stepped into our schools and has touched more lives than she will ever realize. With that, we are pleased to recognize Mrs. Susan Giesting as Anderson Area Educator of the Year. Susan, please come up. Congratulations. Our next Educator of the Year award goes to Sam Rothflow from Archbishop McNicholas High School. When Sam began his career at McNick 15 years ago, he was tasked with the role of service coordinator. He revived Service Club, which is now one of the largest student groups at the school. McNick has a Century Club that he runs, a group of students who complete 100-plus hours of community service. More than half of each senior class earns membership, and the past graduating class completed over 20,000 hours of community service. Every year under his leadership, McNick holds a senior prom at the Semhaven Care Center, a canned food drive that yields over 5,000 items to benefit Hope Emergency Center and the YWCA, coordinates a warm clothing drive for St. Vincent de Paul, and runs a penny drive each January. The 2013 Penny Day brought in over $6,000, and over the last 14 years, more than $80,000 has been raised. He encouraged Service Club to commit to becoming a highway cleanup sponsor. Sam and his students also became more involved in the Mount Washington cleanup days and began an after-school tutoring program with Mount Washington Elementary. Through his passion for teaching students the gift of serving others, he has been so instrumental in making service synonymous with McNicholas. We are so pleased to honor tonight Mr. Rothflow as Anderson Area Educator of the Year. Sam, please come forward. Now let's move to the Student of the Year Award, sponsored by Huntington Learning Center. This year we're honoring two students. Our first winner, Anna Crooker, a senior at Archbishop McNicholas High School, who is accompanied tonight by her parents, Rose and Scott. Rose and Scott, before we recognize your daughter, could you please stand up?
They're in Arizona.
They're in Arizona.
They're standing up.
They're standing in Arizona. Thank you.
That's great.
Her aunt and her cousin are here. Would you like to stand up in Mom and Dad's honor tonight, aunt and cousin? It's a family affair, so thank you. See, Anna, for very different reasons, I was always hoping my parents would split for Arizona. But it wasn't for being recognized as a Student of the Year, I can assure you of that. Anna Crooker, one of those students who makes you wonder how she's able to get everything done. Don't know, we all know somebody like that. Her contributions to school and community are so numerous and diverse. A senior at McNicholas High School, she's involved in Student Council, Service Club, Ecology Club, Photography Club, Student Philanthropy, and the Thespian Society, all maintaining a 4.0 grade point average. Anna's an active member of her parish community at St. Veronica and has volunteered at Matthew 25 Ministries, Safe Haven Farm, and Mount Washington Cleanup Days. She's a camp counselor during the summer, tutors children at Guardian Angel School and Mount Washington Elementary. Anna Crooker puts forth her full effort with all of her heart, and through all of this has helped make a positive impact on not only McNick, but our entire community. We are so pleased to recognize Anna Crooker as Anderson Area Student of the Year. Anna, please come forward. Congratulations. Anna just told us that next year she's going to major in pharmacy at Ohio Northern University. So, Anna, all the best. We wish you good luck. Our next student recipient, Erica Landrigan, a senior at Anderson High School. Erica is accompanied by her parents tonight, Beth and Rodney. Could you please stand? Congratulations. Mom, congratulations. Erica is described as bright, caring, compassionate, and humble. Few young people have the strength of character that Erica has already demonstrated. Not only taking college classes already, better than a 4.05 cumulative grade point average in high school, participates in church activities, school athletics, and still finds time to actively give back to the school and to the entire Anderson community. Erica is a peer mentor for students with special needs, and with the help of her family, she developed the Creating Smiles for Kids program at Children's Hospital. How about that? That's a nonprofit benefiting terminally ill children. It's clearly an amazing young lady. Her earnest values have been a source of inspiration for those in her school and for all of us. We are so pleased, Erica, to recognize you as the Anderson Area Student of the Year. Please come forward. Congratulations. You may not be surprised to learn that Erica is going to be taking nursing at the University of Cincinnati. Erica, we wish you good luck as well. Next up on our agenda, the Anderson Area Volunteer of the Year. And the Volunteer of the Year award is sponsored by Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC. We are so pleased to award a group of volunteers this year, those who serve the Wish Tree program. Familiar name for all of us here in Anderson, Bob Wetter, back in 1985, with the cooperation of the management of the Beachmont Mall, began a program to help bring laughter and joy to the lives of troubled teens. That first year, Bob set up a tree with ornaments and tags with names and gift suggestions for teens at Altar Crest. The community opened its heart to these children. 60 gifts were donated that first year. In each of the following years, the Wish Tree program grew. More nonprofit agencies, more inner city schools got involved every year, meaning more children received more toys, clothing, sporting goods, and school supplies. The program then expanded to include disabled and disadvantaged seniors living in nursing homes. Decorative tags with names and gift suggestions are placed on wish trees in banks, restaurants, businesses all over Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Through the Wish Tree program last year, that first year, remember, 60 gifts. Last year, 50,000. Purchased by the community and donated to so many in need. Every year, the number of trees and the number of gifts increases. All of us have been a part of this. And to think, it was started by Bob and the folks at the Beachmont Mall in 1985. The entire Wish Tree program is run now by volunteers and the staff of the agencies who participate in it. From writing the child's name on the tag to picking up the gifts from the Wish Tree locations to the sorting of the gifts, delivering them to children, many dedicated volunteers are responsible for bringing unbelievable joy, and really for most of us in this room, we can't begin to describe the joy for those kids getting those toys. We're pleased to recognize all those involved in the Wish Tree program as Anderson Area Volunteers of the Year. Congratulations. Is someone going to be accepting that? Well, please come up, young man. And ladies. I'll step out of your way. No, you're not. You're doing fine. How you doing? Congratulations. Nice to see you. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. How you doing? Right there. Our next category goes to Business of the Year. The Business of the Year award is sponsored by Thompson Gifts and Awards. And the winner of this year's Business of the Year award, Anderson Township Center Kroger. The Anderson Town Center Kroger family strives to be responsible in its stewardship in this community. They focus so heavily on 4 important areas. Obviously, their associates, their community, the environment, and all of us, their customers, who they see as extended family. Anderson Town Center Kroger is comprised of 400 associates who consider one another family. They're proud to employ the youth of Anderson. For many, Kroger is their first employer, and Kroger takes pride in promoting associates to positions of greater responsibility within the company. If you go to work there, you're going to get a chance to move up. Their associates understand the role they play in the customer's life, as well as helping them get dinner on the table every single night. The Kroger Company, of course based right here in Cincinnati, was recognized as the most charitable company last year in our area and takes great pride in these efforts. They continually help raise money and donations for wonderful groups like Juvenile Diabetes, American Cancer Society, Multiple Sclerosis, Parkinson's Disease, and the American Heart Association. Their food donation program provides foods to organizations like the Free Store Food Bank, St. Vincent de Paul, and Sim Food Pantry. Kroger's Second Chance food donation program also provides necessary food to local churches and food pantries. Anderson Town Center Kroger was the first store in the Kroger Company to begin a recycling program. They do their part in ensuring that items like plastic, cardboard, cans, bottles, glass, even cooking grease, do not go into landfills. Soon they will implement a composting program at the store, which will further reduce what is taken into landfills. We are so pleased to recognize one of the great companies in our entire city, all over the country, all over the world, and right here at Anderson Town Center. Kroger is Anderson's Area Business of the Year. Will representatives from Kroger please come forward?
Okay, and now for our final award, the Citizen of the Year Award. The 2013 Citizen of the Year Award sponsor, the award sponsor is Mount Washington Savings Bank. But this year's Citizen of the Year is Marty Brenneman. Reds radio announcer Marty Brenneman received the Ford C. Frick Award on July 23, 2000, in ceremonies at the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. The award is presented each year by the Hall of Fame to a broadcaster for major contributions to the game of baseball. Marty has also been inducted into the Hall of National Sports Casters and Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame, National Radio Hall of Fame, and Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. In 2009, he was selected by the American Sportscasters Associations as one of the top 50 broadcasters of all time. Wow. This season is Brenneman's 49th as a broadcaster, his 40th in Cincinnati. Marty has also been named Ohio Sportscaster of the Year 16 times. He has also broadcast games during the NCAA men's basketball tournament, including 15 regional tournaments and 11 Final Fours. Marty has 3 children, his son Tom and daughters Dawn and Ashley, and 5 grandchildren. Marty and wife Amanda live in Anderson, and as an Anderson resident, Marty generously gives his time and talents to the betterment of the Anderson area. He supported the building of the Anderson Township Firefighters Memorial at Beach Acres. He's a strong proponent of the Forest Hill School District. Marty is an advocate for the Anderson Township Park District, and Marty Brenneman Fields at Julius Park was unveiled in 2008. Sponsored the Reds Community Fund. The field renovation project included numerous improvements and was named in Marty's honor for the countless hours he donated to the community and Anderson Township Little League throughout the years. Marty makes regular appearances and annual speaking engagements at the Anderson Senior Center. January 22nd, 2013 was proclaimed as Marty Brenneman Day by the Anderson Township Board of Trustees. Marty's always willing to share his stories and his enthusiasm. He is an inspiration and a friend to many. For these reasons and many, many more, we are pleased to honor Marty Brenneman as the Anderson Area Citizen of the Year. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone back to Tom to say a few words.
I know you'd much rather hear from my dad here than from me. You've heard enough from me. But all of us, whether we're lucky enough to have both of our parents with us or grandparents, if you still have them around, and boy, if you do, be thankful for it. Be thankful if you have your parents around too. Some of us don't have both of them around. But, you know, you get to a certain age and maybe it's time to retire, or maybe it's time to continue to work or in a job like my dad's, where if he wanted to, nobody would say anything if all of a sudden he just locked up the door here in Anderson, took off, went down to Florida, hung out the entire winter. A lot of people do that. I think it sounds like a great idea. He's never done it. Never done it. 1974, we moved here, lived over on Rambling Hills Drive, right off Beachmont Avenue. From there, it was back to Loisdale, back in Summit Estates. From there, things started to part a little bit at that point, but we all wound up, at the end of the day, in Anderson. And he always ended up in Anderson, with 3 of us, his kids, that graduated from Anderson High School. And I remember when we had the opportunity, my family, to move from Arizona back to Cincinnati. And, my dad was trying to decide, about moving somewhere else in the town. And I will admit, even standing here in front of all of you, I was the #1 proponent of visiting that idea. I thought, you know what? You've been in Anderson for 35 years. Why not move up to Mount Adams? Why not move over to Hyde Park? Why not go wherever? Marymount. Nice little town. You can walk and get a cup of coffee. You can do whatever you want to do. Hell no, I like going to the same place for a cup of coffee every day. And he still goes every day. He truly loves Anderson Township. I looked on the back of the program tonight at some of the names of people that have been recognized for this award. Forrest Heiss. I mean, you talk about a legendary name here in Anderson. All of them are, and I don't mean to diminish anybody that's ever won. But just as a kid who grew up, Bob Wetter, Dale Bartholomew, Phyllis Layton, one of my all-time favorite people, I mentioned his name earlier, but Richard Wesp. And you go right down the line of the people that have won this award. Dad, you ought to be very proud. This is some kind of award. This is really some kind of award. And you know what? I think you earned it. So our Anderson Citizen of the Year. I love you. My dad, and a good buddy, Marty Brenneman, our winner this year.
Wow. First, let me say that I'm thrilled to death that Tom was a part of this program. I'm thrilled to death that Ashley and my son-in-law, James, and I'd ask you both to stand up and be recognized by the folks here tonight. And a young lady who keeps me young, my wife, Amanda. I am truly humbled by the accomplishments of the honorees that were recognized before me. I still am grasping the reason why I'm standing up here. I don't do anything. I'm just a big-time proponent of the lifestyle and the people that make up Anderson Township. Russ Jackson and Kenny Dietz, and these two guys and I go back a long ways. We've bent our elbows together a few times, and Russ's son, Russ Jr., is a guy that I have great affection for, that worked at WLW and had to listen to a lot of profanity and screaming in the years that he worked there for me. And I'm just overwhelmed by this. There's nobody, and I say this unequivocally, there is nobody who loves Anderson Township more than I do. And Tom, what Tom said was exactly right. You know, there came a time in my life before Amanda and I got married and I was single, and he said, you really need to get up to Hyde Park, or you need to get up to Mount Adams, or wherever it was. I said, God almighty, I'm 65 years old. What the hell am I going to do up there? And I was away for a couple of years. And I came back, and I bought a condominium, and I feel home. I feel like I'm home. I was uncomfortable when I lived away from here. I know every nook and cranny of this Anderson Township. I know everything about everything in this township. And when I look back on when I came here in 1974, and I wish he could have been here tonight, because the guy who steered me to the township to live, and I knew nothing about the city of Cincinnati. One section or one area of the town was as good as any other, because I didn't know anything about it. Was a fellow that I'm sure a lot of you folks know, because he's lived in Turpin Hills forever. Maybe the best shooter I've ever seen in the game of basketball until I saw Steph Curry's performance in the NBA this year, and his name is Adrian Smith, and we call him Odie. And he and I were together in 1972 in Virginia when I was doing the American Basketball Association games for Virginia Squires, and Odie was a member of that team. And he and I were thrown together. He was a great player at the University of Kentucky. He was an Olympian, a gold medalist in the Olympic Games back in the 60s, and he has lived here forever. And when he found out that I'd been named a Reds announcer, he contacted me and said, you got to live in Anderson Township. Well, I mean, Anderson Township meant nothing to me. But I looked around the city, and the club took me to all points in the compass, and I finally decided that this is where I wanted to live. And this was before 471 and 275, and you had to go downtown the back way, go to Kellogg Avenue and get down to the ballpark, or you had to go to Columbia Parkway. But I decided this is where we wanted to live. And as Tom said, we moved to Rambling Hills Drive, and we rented a house there the first couple of years, and we finally bought a house on Loisdale. And the longer I was here, the more I realized that these were the kind of people that I wanted to wake up and associate with every day. And as the years went by, the feeling grew stronger and stronger and stronger, and Tom and Ashley and my oldest daughter, Dawn, who lives in Chicago, all three went through the public school system here. And I've had people say to me, if you had to do it all over again, would you send them to private schools? And my answer has always been a most definitive, not a chance would I have sent them to private schools. I thought the school education that they got in the Forest Hill School District was sensational, and I'm sure it is today. And the way I judged that was when my kids went off to college, were they prepared to take on a college curriculum? Did they get the kind of education that stood them in good stead once they got to college? Now, you got to factor in raising hell when you're in college, first year. Tom missed nothing. Dawn missed nothing. And I promise you, Ashley didn't. But all in all, they were prepared for the challenge of the college curriculum. And I don't know of a better way to judge an educational system than that. Because I know when I graduated from high school in Virginia, I was not prepared. And I had to adjust, and by the grace of God, I got through, and I was able to get it done. But they were prepared. And I'm a big fan of Summit Elementary and Sherwood Elementary and Anderson High School and all the points in between, if there are any. And so I come to you tonight saying thank you very much for this honor. Again, I don't know why I got it, because I'm just like everybody else here. I'm a citizen of this township, and I'm very, very proud of telling people that I live in Anderson Township and will until whenever that day comes. And I hope it is a long way off as I stand here tonight. I want to thank all of you for honoring me tonight. Again, as I said before, I am truly humbled by it. And I look forward to seeing all of you folks throughout the course of the year, because I'm a 12-month resident here. I look forward to going to Kroger store and see Dave 3 or 4 times a week. And again, I'm very, very thankful for what you've done for me tonight and for all the other honorees. Thank you very much.
Let's applaud the individual incredible efforts of each of the fine individuals and groups recognized tonight. We are honored to have each of you here with us this evening and want to emphasize how valuable your contributions have been to our communities. The Anderson Area Chamber is proud to present this event to the community. With the Chamber's membership growing and continued community involvement, the Chamber is now stronger than ever in its efforts to support local businesses and organizations. For the special event tonight, I'd like to recognize the Chamber's 2013 sustaining sponsors. Thanks to these organizations for their continued support of the Chamber. Please refer to the banner behind me as we give a round of applause. I'd also like to do a special thanks to some of our more quiet contributors whose donations are critical in making this event a success. Wellington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Huntington Learning Center, Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, Thompson Gifts and Awards, Mount Washington Savings and Bank, ACTV, Kroger, Jim Moorfield, and Jody McKinley. I would also personally like to thank all the volunteers of the Citizen of the Year Committee who work behind the scenes to make this event possible. Would the committee members please stand and be recognized? We congratulate all of the award winners tonight and look forward to seeing you all at some of our future Chamber events. May 30th kicks off the Party in the Plaza season at the Anderson Center, and June 10th is a Chamber golf outing at Legendary Run Golf Course. Thank you for being here this evening and supporting your fellow citizens at this event. Have a great evening. And I do ask that all this year's finalists stay for a few moments for photographs following the program. Thank you for coming.